third step of the Bento box inquiry is the integrate step, where students take their research and the context that we've built and they build it into integrating into their understanding of a time period or an event or a group of people. And for this integrate step, this project has evolved to have a bracket challenge. Think of it sort of like March Madness for basketball. And in order to prepare for that, students have to put their best argument for why their woman is an unsung hero. That was the criteria for nominating women for commemorative quarters with the U.S. Treasury Department. And so that is the criteria that I've used. There are some rules that they get for the bracket challenge, where I sort of walk them through those steps. Convince us that their historic woman deserves her own quarter, kind of remind them of how to use the logos, ethos, pathos arguments. They have 8 minutes to prepare, and then 2 minutes to actually convince us. And there's some guidelines of how to do that. And then this is what it looks like, right? And then often the tool I use is Mentimeter for them to vote. But they can't vote until they've taken notes on all of the presentations, just so that they're thinking ahead of time and starting to make those comparisons. And a shared Google slideshow, I think, is also important. So often students miss class. If they miss out on presentations, they miss out on the information, then this is available for students to see what was the information. They can still complete their claim at the end. And it's an important part of building like community knowledge. So I do prepare it ahead of time to give students, like, don't forget, this is what's important about Zidkala. These are the key points. This is when she lived, right? These are all things I've realized over the years that were important and that were small details of a historian that students often missed. Are when were they born? When did they actually live? What are some of those key details? They focus on opportunities and obstacles and unsung hero, but some of the details they miss. So I think it's important to provide those so that everyone has them. So something to think about with this activity is that the bracket challenge was something I added, I think, about 4 years ago. And I was really surprised at how passionately students were willing to argue for their women when it became a challenge and when it was only 2 minutes to present. It really meant we got to hear from every group. So think about what is a misunderstood or underrepresented story that you don't think students will have enthusiasm for, but you can get them to have that enthusiasm. What's something that's complex and needs multiple perspectives added to it? This is opening up a window of understanding into other cultures. And just think it's fascinating that since I started this project, 2 of the women I include have since been given their commemorative quarter. You can get Jovita Idar's now, and Zidkala Sa, it will be coming out next year.